Om Shri Sai Ram. From early in the morning today, my mind has latched on to one bhajan, and I don't think it's a coincidence because though I was not planning to speak about that little bhajan, I find it very relevant to today's topic, which is Indweller of the heart. And the first few lines, the two lines of the bhajan go like this: Sathya Sai Padambujam Bhajare Manasa Nirantaram. Sathya Sai Padambujam Bhajare Manasa Nirantaram. O mind, contemplate on the lotus feet of Sathya Sai, which is in fact the true wealth in every sense of the term. And it happens that when a tune gets stuck in your mind, you keep singing that over and over again throughout the day, and every little beat you hear, every little note you hear anywhere reminds you of that same line, and that is what has happened today morning. And so I thought, let me start by narrating why this bhajan is so very close to my heart. Each one of us come across situations in our life, when we feel we need God the most at this particular point in time. We look back at our life and tell Swami, if at all there was a point of time in my life when I need you, it is this, Swami. It is now, and I want you to respond to me. And many of us would have experienced that it is precisely at such times we feel that there is no answer forthcoming. It has been encapsulated in that famous footprints in the sand, where a man dreaming tells the Lord that we both are walking on the beach containing the sands of time, and every time I see there are two sets of footprints, yours and mine, which makes me feel that you are by my side always. But when it comes to those portions on the beach, those times in my life when it was the toughest, when it was the most difficult, at such times I see only one set of footprints, and we all know that God replies saying, yes, that's one set of footprints, but it's not yours, it's mine, because I'm carrying you. In spite of knowing this, I feel sometimes, no Swami, actually if I measure it's my footprint size only. I think I'm all alone there. I don't think you're carrying me. I'm walking alone, and this is when I want you. Why don't I see your lotus feet? Why don't I see the Sathya Sai Padambujam when I want it the most? Why don't I see your footprints there instead of mine? The episode with this bhajan actually taught me that when you look and see your own footprints and you think you're all alone, that is because those times, though it appears as if the Lord is not carrying, whether the Lord carries us or whether we carry the Lord, it makes no difference. This was the June of 2008, and it was my birthday, and every year on my birthday before that, Swami would either accept a letter from me or take those akshata grains and put it on the head, some way of blessing. And I didn't want that successful run to be broken any year. Every year, Swami, whether you are happy with me or upset with me or whatever, Swami, on birthday everything is forgiven and you are supposed to bless me. And I prided myself with this because there were not many in the hostel there were not many students who could boast of this record, this impeccable track record that irrespective of the Desha Kala Paristhiti, the time situation or the place, whether Swami is in Vrindavan or Parthi, on the birthday, when you go for blessings, you have received blessings. And now I had passed out as a student, I had joined Radio Sai, So I was a member of the staff, and on that day, in the morning, it was 2008 as I said, in 2008, morning darshan was not a certainty. Swami would come some days, Swami would not come some days. Everything would be made out whether the mics are put on or not. When the Veda chanting starts, if the mics are not on, that means Swami has not yet come. It is only when Swami arrives will the mics go on. And so as I was having bath on that morning, I suddenly heard the Veda chants, which meant Swami is coming for darshan now. It's only a matter of few minutes. So I rushed to the mandir, and since it was my birthday, I thought it would be fantastic if you can receive blessings in the morning itself. Because in the evening, all the students would have arrived, it will be jam-packed, it will be crowded, and even if Swami blesses, you will be one among the many who received blessings. Somehow it feels like that. Swami will do the same thing. That is, he will come, give Padnamaskar and put Akshata grains on the head. But if he does it for 10 others, we don't feel so special. It's somehow like that. It's not about what Swami does. It's about how it is done. If 20 people receive sweets from his hand, nothing. If on a day when people are not able to see Swami, on that day, we just catch a glimpse of him in the car, we feel on top of the world. Why? Because inbuilt in us is this thing of comparison. It doesn't matter how high I am. It's only relative to you. If you are very low, I feel awesome wherever I am. But if you are high, I want to go higher. It's very, very tough to get out this comparison. Anyway, that day I just felt it will be wonderful if I can get blessed in the morning. Probably I will be the only person getting birthday blessings in the morning. That was also the time when a Ramayana Saptaham was going on, a 1 week long storytelling of the Ramayana. And as part of that Saptaham, in the morning there was a Laksharchana. A Laksharchana is when you worship with rice grains, with Akshata grains, a photograph of the Lord who is beloved to you, whether it is Rama or Swami or anybody. So the whole Kulwant Hall was doing this. So when that came as a good news for me, because I was planning to go for blessings in the evening. So I had not kept anything ready, Usually you'll have a bowl of dry fruits, then a bowl of cloves, because Swami sometimes picks up and eats those cloves. And then you have a bowl of chocolates possibly. Then a bowl of Akshata also, which Swami can pick up and put on your head. And I had not kept any of these ready. So I just picked up one bowl from the room, and I remembered that Laksharchana is going on, so there will be sufficient Akshata available in the mandir. And I ran to the mandir with the bowl. And as I entered the mandir, from this gent's side, from the lady's side, Swami entered the mandir. And I went and took some Akshata from the puja there and put it into the bowl. And since Swami had already started the darshan round, I thought the best possible place would be near this Veda chanting group. But that day, Swami took a detour after the ladies' side and went into the interview room. So I got up from there and I went into the bhajan hall. I usually, when Swami would enter the interview room quite early, about 5 to 10 minutes before the bhajans, he would come and sit in the bhajan hall and simply speak with whoever is there. And then he'd look and say, 9 o'clock, now start bhajans. No, Swami is Swami is very strict about the timing. No delay in this. In fact, earlier days when Swami would be walking and talking with the students outside or with the devotees outside, you can see it's almost like it would almost look like some panic attack, Swami will be speaking, and then as the Om begins, bhajan. Wind up everything what we are doing, let's go back now, bhajan time, no more talking, no more. So, Swami, I was hoping that Swami would come 5-10 minutes before into the bhajan hall, and when he's seated there, possibly you can, get the blessings. 9 o'clock, Swami had not come, bhajans began, first bhajan, second bhajan, third bhajan. He said, Swami, please let this not be a day when you come in only to receive aarti, because some days that also had happened. But during the third bhajan, the doors opened, and what joy, when the doors open. When the doors of our heart open to allow the Lord in, it is such a moment of great joy. And that joy we can experience when we visualize the doors opening and as Swami is walking out. And he walks out, comes and sits on the throne, and he looks and he smiles at me, and I am so happy. I am convinced I am going to get my blessings today. Swami has smiled. So I held out my bowl of rice grains, akshata grains. But then Swami doesn't call me. He's just sitting and he's enjoying the bhajan. I said, Swami, I thought possibly I should project it out even more. We do that, right? He says, Swami, please, I'm going on this task. Please be with me. And if everything goes well, that's it. We finish the task and come back. If some problem comes along the way, Swami, what's happening? Swami, I prayed. Swami, please. We feel that, possibly God didn't hear my first prayer, so he has to hear the second one. When things start going wrong, we pray more because we think possibly he didn't hear, or possibly there was some error in transmission or something like that. But when things go right, we don't even say, thanks Swami, morning I had asked you to be with me, everything went along fine. No, we don't even say that. I think that, yeah, Swami, I told him, yeah. But fine, everything went on well. So the same thing, it would be exhibited. You can see the way students offer their letters. First it will be like this. And as Vedam gets over, the letter would have come like this. And as bhajan start, it will be like this. Aarti time you should see. Some of the times I used to get a chance to sit behind Swami because I had to take photographs of the events. And I would look at the faces. I'm not saying that this is what others do and what I didn't. I'm sure it would have been my case also. But during the Aarti time, apart from the outstretched hand, they'll be holding only the tip of the letter. Because as much as possible, and knees also will be raised a little bit, and that face of, intense devotion and desperation. The letter will almost be near Swami's nose tip. He just has to pick it. Because we feel, the first few times when we offered, Swami didn't see. Swami needs little more goading, little more persuasion. It's not like that. The Lord knows our heart because He is the indweller of the heart. And if He has to take, He will take. If He has decided not to take, He won't take, irrespective of our gymnastics. Because there have been times when Swami has asked, what is in your pocket? Oh, yeah, give that letter. Swami has taken that way also. So here I was sitting with the bowl at my heart, my physical heart. And then slowly it was stretching out. And my hand had been fully outstretched and I am trying to tell Swami, please bless me, please bless. Because you have already sat for a bhajan now don't walk away without blessing. Then he just looked and just with his eyes, he just nodded. And that indication was thrilling. I jumped up and went to Swami with the bowl of akshatas. I was, again here also, we have our own concept of what is blessing. If the Lord is happy with me, I should succeed in this. If I am going for an interview, if Swami is happy with me, I will get the job. If I am studying, if Swami is happy with me, I'll get a top rank. If I fail, that means God is unhappy with me. Because we feel what we think is good for us is what the Lord also thinks is good for us. We have our own criteria for seeing whether the Lord has blessed us or not. And for me it was, if Swami is blessing me, he has to pick up the rice grains and put it on my head. That is the symbol of blessing. I was so lost in Swami, in trying to goad Swami to pick up those grains and put it on my head, that I didn't even observe that Swami was speaking something. So Swami is telling something and I am like, Swami, here it is, here is the bowl. Swami, this is the grain. And twice when he spoke, that is when I realized that Swami is speaking something and I am not paying attention to that. So I said, yes Swami, what was that Swami? And exactly at this time, the bhajan changed to the second speed. So in second speed, the rhythm builds up, the energy builds up and people somehow clap harder. You just notice it in the Kulwant Hall. First speed, nobody claps, some people may not even sing. Second speed, somehow everybody it builds up, it's infectious, the enthusiasm. And so the whole bhajan hall is singing loud and clapping, exactly the wrong thing for me because I am not able to hear Swami. Now Swami says in the depths of silence alone the voice of God is heard. Literally. I felt, Swami, this is the heights, crescendo of sounds over here. How can I hear your voice? 3 times he said something, I didn't catch it. Then I said, Swami, I'm not able to hear what you say, Swami. But today is my birthday and I want you to bless me. That is what I told him. That is what was foremost in my mind. That was a thought that was going on hammering me from within. So I just told it out. I said, Swami, I don't know what you're going to say, but this is my birthday. Just bless me. And Swami then picked up the rice grains, put it on my head, patted me on my head with his hand. I felt happy. And then Swami said, no problem, I will tell you again later sometime. Now this was surprising because this I heard clearly. How is it that I heard him say that I will tell you what I am supposed to tell you later? When Swami says that in the silence, in the depths of silence alone the voice of God is heard, it is not the bhajan sound or the external din that he refers to. It is the silence within. And the noise within is created by thoughts. That is why, irrespective of the bhajan singing going on, the clapping going on, the minute my mind was at ease, about done, task done, getting Swami to pick rice grains and throw on my head, it is done. And I am at peace and I am able to hear him. It is only when the mind is at peace, when it is thoughtless, that we will be able to hear the voice of God. And that for me was like a direct. And that is the objective of all our meditation techniques. Whether we do the Jyoti meditation or a thumb meditation or meditating on a form, basically what we are doing is trying to reduce the number of thoughts. Because God is not an external entity whom we have to hear with our external ears. God is the indweller of the heart, the Hrudayasthayi. Swami would often sign off his letters that he wrote to devotees with your Hrudayasthayi Sai. Hrudayasthayi is the indweller of the heart, one who has established himself in the heart. And from there the Lord is communicating with us every moment of our lives. But we are not able to hear his voice in the din of the multiple thoughts that go on within us, even before we sleep. I find it sometimes so hard. I'm jealous of my father, The moment his head hits the pillow, he's off. What a blessing it is, I feel. For me, half an hour after the head has hit the pillow, I'm drifting into sleep still. Because my mind is going on. The mind doesn't allow us to sleep. How will it allow us to hear the voice of the Lord? Anyway, coming back to the story and why this bhajan is so special is, once Swami said that I will tell it to you later, he suddenly said, take namaskar, take namaskar, take namaskar. I mean, it was so insistent and so urgent. He urgently wanted me to fall at his feet and take namaskar. So, though I was surprised, I was very happy. And I bent to touch his feet. Dear brothers and sisters, what a beautiful moment, because even as I bent to touch his feet, the bhajan which was going on just completed. It just got completed. And the next bhajan began. And what was the next bhajan? Sathya Sai Padambujam Bhajare Manasa Nirantaram. The next bhajan was, O mind, contemplate on the Lord's feet. This was the message that Swami gave first to mankind. Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. And even as I say, I get goosebumps here. I got goosebumps that day because I felt here I am resting. We often feel that our mind is in the head. I don't know where the mind is, but we feel it's in my mind. That's how we tell. It's all over here. We feel the mind is here. So I felt symbolically my mind was at the feet, the Sathya Sai Padambuja, and the bhajan, like some background music in movies, matching the scene going on. Wow, it was, and I just cannot express what I felt at that moment. And I felt that was the most perfect birthday gift that I could have ever got. And I had not even asked for it, That is the thing. The Lord's love comes to us unasked. We only ask for things much lesser than what He has planned to give us. That's why we are foolish. Swami says, don't ask. For you may ask for things far lesser than what I have actually planned to give you. What I plan to give you is something amazing, ultimate. You have not even comprehended. It's like asking a 3-year-old child, what do you want for the birthday? What does the child know what the mother is capable of gifting? That's why just be. You will be gifted what you need. Because the Lord knows what we need more than we ourselves know. Why? Because what we need is enshrined in our heart, and we often cannot hear our heart because we are lost in the din of our thoughts. But the Lord who is enshrined in our heart knows exactly what we need, how we need, when we need, and His timing is always perfect. I remember even as I got up from Swami's feet, Swami was looking at the singer who started the bhajan. I am sure the singer too had goosebumps on his hand because he felt that what he was singing, he was able to see. Imagine singing Dasharate Rama and see Rama there with Dasharatha. Or Ravana Mardhana Rama and you see Rama killing killing Ravana. That was what was happening for this boy because what he was singing, he was seeing and he felt wow. And Swami looked at him and the way Swami smiled at him, later I spoke to this boy, he felt that this was an experience that Swami specially created for him. And I was feeling that this was an experience that Swami specially created for me. And that is the beauty of the Lord, something which Dr. Gokak called as omnifelicity. The Lord can felicitate multiple people at the same time with the same action. It's not only omnipresence and omniscience. One thing that Swami does, and this person feels it is special for me, this person feels it's special for me, it's special for all. That is one more ability of the divine, and that He is able to do because He is the indweller of everyone's hearts. Now, I started by saying we feel that there are those times in life when we need the Lord the most, and at such times He doesn't seem to be responding. An interesting story, again, it's a little detour, but very interesting nevertheless, is what one of my friends once told me. He said, there's this famous story of Prahlada, the devotee, who was subjected to great troubles by his father, the demon king Hiranyakashipu. In fact, the father wants to kill the son because Hiranyakashipu feels that my greatest enemy is Lord Narayana. And therefore, anybody who chants the name of Narayana will be killed. And so everybody in his kingdom is scared to chant the name of the Lord, and everybody chants Lord Hiranyakashipu. And then that is the way the Lord works. The Lord gifts him with an amazing son who comes and starts propagating the name of Narayana. And the father feels like, Swami says, you may be a big district magistrate. You may bring down the greatest criminals down to their knees. But once you go home and your son comes, you go on your knees and make him ride your back. Children have a way of bringing down the greatest of men to their knees. And that is what happened to Hiranyakashipu. He has terrorized the whole kingdom, and his teeny bit of a boy comes and says, Father, my education is complete, for I know Lord Narayana pervades everything. And Hiranyakashipu is unable to bear it. So he tries different ways to kill the child. One of the ways he says is throw him off from the top of a mountain. And the story goes that when Prahlada was thrown off, he kept chanting the name of Narayana, Narayana, and down Narayana was there to catch him. This is the traditional story. What my friend told me was very interesting. He said, you know what? Narayana actually bent and then caught Prahlada. I didn't know that. I don't know if this is a true story or this is his poetic imagination, but it's a beautiful thing nevertheless. So I said, oh, is it? He said, why? I said, I don't know. Means why did the Lord have to bend to catch him? He said, because Narayana wanted to check how strong is Prahlada's faith. You are chanting my name when you're at the top of the mountain and being thrown. Will you chant my name when you're 1 foot away from destruction? I want to see, Narayana, 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 what happened? Narayana, you there? That's what happens in our lives, right? If we fall sick, no, Swami will take care. Second day, temperature has not gone. Swami, please, take little vibhuti, maybe it will work. Third day, take vibhuti, keep a letter at the Mahasamadhi. We feel we have to intensify. Swami, what's happening? Why? Fifth day, we start crying. First day, we don't cry. So as the intensity builds, our faith seems to shake. So he said that Narayana wanted to see whether Prahlada, who chanted Narayana, Narayana confidently at top of the mountain, 1 foot away, that's why I'll bend and catch him. I won't catch him here. Let him fall a little more. Let me see. Because the Lord can, in an instant, catch us 1 inch away from the abyss and throw us back at the zenith. He can do it in an instant. And we know He can do it. The only point is, do we know that and have conviction in that when we are at that abyss? So, one way I look at it is, when we are in the most troubled times, it's a beautiful way, When we say that, when we pray to the Lord to give us strength, He doesn't confer strength. You go to somebody and say, I want to build my body, I want to look muscular. Okay, why? Because, I want to be so strong that if something hits me, I should not feel at all. So, I want to go strong. You know what the trainer will do? He'll make you fall on your stomach and do push-ups. And your biceps will start aching. And you'll tell, what a crazy trainer he is. I told him, give strength so that I should not get pain. Instead of giving me strength, he's giving me pain now. That's what happens, right? But we just stick on to the trainer and do those push-ups. In a matter of months, our biceps will be so strong. And then we will not feel any more pain. So when we pray to the Lord for mental strength, emotional strength, is it not logical that we will get mental pain and emotional pain? Just like physical pain builds up our physical bodies, will not mental pain and emotional pain build up our inner strength? So possibly that is one reason why when we feel that we need the Lord the most, He doesn't seem to be listening. One such episode happened in the life of Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas. And even, actually, Indweller of the heart, the topic, in Sanskrit translates into Hrudayasthayi Sai. And when I think of this term Hrudayasthayi, the first person that comes to mind is Draupadi. Draupadi was in the open Kaurava court. And as she stood there has been that gambling game that has gone on, and she has 5 powerful husbands, each of them capable of destroying the world on his own. That is how each of the Pandavas are described. And yet, when she stands there, and when she is being humiliated, Duryodhana orders his brother Dushasana to disrobe Draupadi in the open court. And when that happens, there is nobody to help her. I feel this one episode has so many lessons. I'll first narrate just this episode before we go into those lessons. Nobody is there to help her, and Draupadi starts calling out to each of them. Nobody helps. So she realizes that nobody can help me. Only my Lord Krishna can help. So she calls out, O Brindavana Vihari, O Madhuvana Sanchari, please come to my rescue. And there is no Krishna. O Mathura Puri Nivasi, there is no Krishna. Why is Krishna not listening to my prayers? And then finally Swami says, Draupadi calls out and says, O Hrudayavasi Krishna, O Krishna, the indweller of my heart. And in an instant, the Lord does a miracle. He creates the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest sari produced. And Dushasana with all his might is pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and then nothing. Draupadi is never disrobed. In fact, when the Mahabharata serial was shot, they manufactured a special 65 meters sari to shoot this scene. Because that time there was no computer technology, you couldn't virtually generate a sari. You had to really weave the sari, so it was actually a Guinness Book of World Record then. Coming to the lessons, in those times of need, when we feel that we are at our lowest, we are actually marking the beginning of a phenomenal journey, because that is the point in time when we realize the truth about the world. What is the truth about the world? Swami says, what appears as true is untrue, what appears as untrue is true. We think that our family, our wealth, our status, our position, our influence, we want all these because we feel these will stand by us in our times of need. Tomorrow, if an earthquake strikes, so let me make some fixed deposits. We think all these are the things, all these are the props and supports that will stand by us in life. And it is at such points in life we realize that none of this are of any use. Draupadi is a princess. She owns great wealth. Her father is a valorous king. Her husband, she doesn't have one, she has 5 husbands. Each of them is a mighty person. And nobody is able to stop her, is able to stop the wicked Dushasana from perpetrating this crime. And then what she does is she starts calling out. Swami says she calls out to Madhuvana Sanchari Krishna. Krishna who roams about in the beautiful forests of Madhuvana in Gokul. And Swami says when she says, "Oh Krishna who resides in Gokula," no, Krishna has to come from Gokula because that is what Draupadi is telling. So it takes time, to travel. Suppose I am sitting in London and I say, "Oh Prasanthi Nilayam Nivasa, please come." Okay, coming. 9 hours my flight. It takes, right, to fly. Then she says, "Mathura Nivasi." Swami says, Krishna had to come from Mathura then. But the moment she said, "Hrudaya Nivasi Krishna," in an instant, because he's in the heart. So wherever we are, is it not the best to call upon the Lord who resides in our heart? Why do we need a Prasanthi Sai? Why do we need anything? Vrindavana Vihari Krishna. Why don't we call out the Sai who is our Hrudayasthayi? There is a famous example that Kabir Das gives. He says, "Kasturi kundal basai mrigadunde banamahi, aise ghat ghat ram hai duniya dekhe nahi." He says the musk deer, it is from the navel of the musk deer that the fragrance musk is produced. So he gives a metaphor and he says, this musk deer gets the fragrance and says, "Wow, where is this fragrance coming from?" And it walks the entire forest. Finally, the musk deer gets tired. It just sits. It says, "Where is this smell coming from? It's so wonderful, the fragrance, but I'm not able to find the source of this fragrance. So I'll take some rest and then resume my search." And you know how a deer sleeps, folds its legs and turns its head. And when it turns its head, its nose comes close to its own navel. So, oh my God, this is where the smell is coming from, the fragrance is coming from. Aise ghat ghat ram hai duniya dekhe nahi. God is like this. The world is not. We keep searching for Him outside and we say, "Lord, I'm tired." The search for the Lord is not complete. That is because you fool, you have been searching in the wrong place. I'm there in your heart. Look for me there, I'll manifest. This was the message that even Lord Jesus, as a boy of 12, gave. Swami narrates in his discourse how once Jesus' parents, Mary and Joseph, took him to the temple when he was a 12-year-old, and in that crowd there, suddenly Jesus goes missing. A little boy, 12-year-old. And where to find him? So they are panic-stricken, they're scared because if King Herod's emperor's soldiers find him, they will kill him. So they're searching for him, they don't find him. After hours, finally Swami says Mary enters the temple and there she finds Jesus sitting and listening to the sermon being given by a wise man there. And she comes and says, "Jesus, where were you?" I mean, this is the beauty, the way Swami plays with words. It gives meanings at so many levels. Swami says that Jesus said, "Mother, I'm always inside. If you search for me outside, how will you find me?" And then in the discourse, Swami says, if you want to find Jesus, search for Him inside. Don't search for Him outside. Because He is the indweller of the heart. I remember in 2007 when I joined Radio Sai, one of the first projects that was taken up by Radio Sai was an exhibition called Prema Jyoti. And Prema Jyoti attempted to showcase in a few panels Swami's entire life. It's an impossible task, but it's a joyous one. So how much ever possible we will showcase. So there were about 300 panels. I'm sure many of you might have visited the exhibition. It toured all over India. It was also, you can read, it's a magnificent story, the story of Prema Jyoti. It is there as 2 cover stories on Radio Sai. You can just search Radio Sai Prema Jyoti and Google it and get this. Anyway, how that exhibition came over is magnificent, because In 2007, if you remember, there was also a World Youth Conference scheduled in July, and the Purnachandra Auditorium had been allotted for this World Youth Conference. This was the same time when we planned to put up an exhibition, and we were wondering whether we should put it up or not, because the venue has already been taken for a World Youth Conference, for which Swami was very, very eager and enthusiastic. Nevertheless, we had done our hard work, we had prepared, and I still remember the date because it was July the 13th, a Friday. And Friday the 13th is considered as the most unlucky day in the world or something like that. And you just Google Friday the 13th, you will see there are horror movies, tragedy movies, terrible photographs, long stories. Basically, avoid Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th was the day when we chose to inform Swami about the exhibition. Our director, Professor G. Venkatraman, he had this great privilege of dining with Swami every night. So we were thinking it's a simple matter. Sir, one day over dinner, just tell Swami, one exhibition is there here. But can you believe it? I mean, we found it hard to believe it then, so I won't find fault if you're not finding it hard to believe. But from 1 month, he has just not been able to tell Swami about this, about the exhibition. How much, we were wondering, sir, how much does it take? How long does it take? Just one sentence. How is the buttermilk? Swami, nice. Swami, there's also an exhibition. You can just bring it up in any context, right? If not, just bring it up. When we used to put up programs in Swami's presence, we had one connecting statement. The connecting statement is a statement which can be used any point in the program to talk about anything that you want. And that statement is, that reminds me of. Why it reminds me of that I need not say. It just reminds me of, and I can carry on. So sir, you can do that, right? Anything Swami is speaking or, Swami, it reminds me, there's this exhibition going on. You think this, but it had never happened. And that day, some of us were worried. See, it's such a bad, ill luck day. Swami has said that when you have the God's anugraha, what can the navagraha do to you? When you have the Lord's grace, what can the 9 planets do to you? That's correct. But why take a chance, Why not go on a day when the planets are fine? Why simply take a chance? I know it doesn't work, but what in case it works? It's like you go on the road and the dog is barking and they say, don't worry, barking dogs don't bite. Yeah, I know that. Does the dog know it? I mean, what if it bites? So why take a chance? You tie the barking dog, then I'll go. So in the same way, why take a chance on July the 13th? Friday the 13th? But anyway, that was how it was scheduled. But that morning, I remember, GV sir called 2 or 3 of us to his room and he said, boys, Swami is going to bless the exhibition. I have got confirmation. So, wow, sir, so finally you managed to tell Swami over the dinner table. No. Today morning, I lit the agarbatti here in my room and I'm praying. See this flower, it fell. And he had a tear in his eye. I was very moved because I thought a person who dines with Swami on a regular basis, why will he want this flower falling? And I feel flower falling and vibhuti coming from photograph is for losers who are not able to get directly. So we want, that is how I used to think. It is like we find joy. No, nothing. I went to Parthi. Swami spoke to you? No. Swami took a letter? No. My room flower fell. This is absolutely the wrong way of thinking, but I used to think this is a loser's philosophy. You didn't get interview, you couldn't give letter, so you're telling flower fell. Okay. But that was the day when I realized it's not like that. What a flower can achieve by falling is tremendous. Personally, I've experienced that many times and there's no difference, it was just my foolish way of looking at things. But that day what I learned is, even a person who is physically so close to Swami has to connect to Swami through his heart. Without the heart-to-heart connection, physical nearness to Swami is what a frog will feel near a lotus. You will just hop about croaking, that's all. You will not be able to enjoy the nectar that the lotus gives, and the nectar can be enjoyed only by a bee, irrespective of how far the hive is. Nearness does not matter, it is dearness that matters. And that dearness, how does anyone become dear to us? When we give our heart to them. So when we recognize the Sai in our heart, then alone can we be dear to Swami, can he be dear to us. And that evening it happened, Swami came. On Friday the 13th, the unluckiest day for mankind, we experienced the luckiest day as Radio Sai staff. Swami spent 40 minutes with us. If that is an unluckiest day, I don't mind every day of my life being the most unlucky. Because it was so beautiful. And that is what our Hrudayasthayi Sai can do. In an instant turn the unluckiest moment into the luckiest moment. But let us connect with him inside. Because the deity, the idol in the temple may not respond. Swami sitting in the mandir may not respond, but the Sai in the heart has to respond. Because love is our greatest strength and love is his greatest weakness. Let's exploit it. That is what Surdas did, Surdas was a blind person. He lost his sight, but he was in bliss because he always saw Krishna in his inner eye. And then one day as he is walking, he falls into a well. When he falls into the well, he screams out. And there's nobody nearby to help. Krishna himself comes. He calls out, Gopal, Gopal. Because that's all whom he knows. He doesn't rely on anybody else. Just like Draupadi called out to Krishna, Surdas calls out to Krishna and Krishna comes. As a boy, helps him out. Surdas does not know that it is his Lord who has come to save him. Just like many of us do not realize that every time we are being saved by the Lord only. In different forms. Many times we fail to see the Lord because he does not come to us in the form we are expecting. That's what happens. So Surdas also did not know that. So he asked him, oh, thank you my boy. What's your name? He says, I'm Gopal. Oh, very nice. Oh, because you were calling Gopal, that's why I came. Oh no, that I was calling my Krishna. Anyway, nice. So what do? I tend to cows. My Gopal also tends to cows. You're such a sweet child. And as he touches the head, he feels that peacock feather. Oh, Gopal. And the minute he recognizes, Krishna leaves his hand and runs away. And Swami does this many times, When we don't know, we think, who is this Swami? We come to him, we get interviews, he'll bless everything. And the minute we realize, oh my God, this is my Lord. Now pine. Now sit there. Now welcome, sit. Pine for darshan, pine for this. That first taste, free sample is given. After that you have to pay money and buy. And we pay money here with our sadhana. So now you have to do sadhana. That was only free sample. To get you addicted to the taste. Now that you are addicted, welcome, sit, start your sadhana. That's what even Krishna did to Surdas, A blind person, he just leaves his hand and runs away. What is more beautiful than Lord Krishna leaving Surdas' hand and running away is Surdas' response to Lord Krishna. He bursts forth in a song. बाह छुड़ाए जात हो निबल जान के मोह हृदय से जब जाओ तो सबल में जानू तो. He says, Lord, you are thinking that I am weak and you are strong because you are able to free yourself from my grasp and run away. But I don't think this is a test of strength. The test of strength is, if you have strength, leave my heart and show me. The way I have caught you in my heart, you just can't leave. You are weak, I am strong because you can't escape from my heart. That was the faith of Surdas. Krishna comes running back. What other choice he has got? Comes running back. And he says, Surdas, I'll give you sight. Surdas says, no, Krishna, what will I see if I have got sight? He says, you will see the beauty of the world. You will see this, you will see that, you will see this. Lord, why do you divert me from my path? When I am blind, I can see only you. When I have eyes, I see everything but you. Why would I want sight? And people want to see you, they close their eyes and sit. I've been given that blessing, O Lord. Please don't curse me by giving sight. That is what happens when we recognize the Indweller Sai. Even what the world considers as a curse. Who would want to be blind? Who would want to be blind? But that becomes a blessing. And it is not just for the sake of saying that Surdas said. He had an option. He could have got his sight. It is not the case of sour grapes. The fox tries to get grapes. They are jumping, is not able to eat the grapes and say, these are sour grapes. It's not that Surdas says, being blind is awesome. You just try, you plug out your eyes, it will be awesome. It's not like that. It's not that he could not get sight. He was given the option to choose sight. But he chose Krishna over sight. He said, I don't want sight. Because the joy that I'm getting is so immeasurable that whether I lose my eyes, whether I lose my hands, doesn't matter. This question, I had spoken about it in the last Satsangh also. It's a beautiful example which I got to know. A student asked Swami in Kodaikanal, said, Swami, you praise Mirabai for her devotion. Mirabai, so loving. She loved Krishna so much. But Swami, she suffered so much in her life. While addressing a group of youth, I asked how many of them admire Mirabai. Everyone raised their hands, Because everyone knew Mirabai. If you know Mirabai, you will admire Mirabai. That is her life. Then I asked, how many of you want to lead a life like Mirabai? Now many hands came down. Yeah, I admire, but no need. Who wants to be like Mirabai? Drink poison, get whiplashes from the husband, get tortured by the mother-in-law. Why? No need. Swami, please, no need, Swami. No need. So that is what this boy asked Swami. He said, Swami, Mirabai loved the Lord, no doubt in that. But how much he suffered, Swami? Swami's response was, did Mirabai tell you that she suffered? You think she suffered. But did Mirabai tell you she suffered? Mirabai was in such bliss that when she was told that she has to give up that or drink poison, she chose to drink poison because she didn't want to give up this bliss. That is the kind of maddening bliss you get when you recognize the indweller of your heart. And so, Swami in a discourse once said that there are some people who say God, 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 God. And they feel that all these people who go behind the world are mad. And there are these people who go behind the world. They want money, career, fame, position. And they feel all those who go behind God are mad. Who is actually mad? And as I was hearing, I thought, Swami, naturally, the worldly people are mad. Because God, we are all seeking God. Awesome. Swami said, both are mad. Hey, Swami, this is wrong marketing, Swami. You better tell that those who go behind the world are mad. Because, then more will be encouraged to come behind you. He's saying both are mad. Then Swami said, but of all the madnesses that afflict man, God madness is the least harmful and the most beneficial. So according to Swami, everybody is mad. And everybody is mad unless we realize our oneness with him. But in that madness, the safest and most beneficial madness is God madness. That is what Mirabai had. That is what Draupadi had. That is what Surdas had. That is what we should have. And one of those prerequisites for achieving that madness is to connect with the Swami within. I remember as a student, many times when I got up to give letters, Swami would say, hey, admit him in mental hospital. Take him to mental hospital. I feel very happy. Because, it's like a boy comes running and says, Father, the king spoke to me, the king spoke to me. The father calls everyone in the village, the king spoke to my son, the king spoke to my son. What did he say? He said, you fool, get out of my way. Wow. It doesn't matter what he said. The king said it right. In the same way, it doesn't matter what Swami is telling. He told me, right? He didn't tell you to go to mental hospital. He didn't tell you, he told me. I'm great. That is the beauty of the Lord. Whatever it does, everything is sweet. Adharam maduram, nayanam maduram, vadanam maduram, hasitam maduram. Hrudayam maduram, gamanam maduram, madura dipate, akhilam maduram. Everything about the Lord is sweet. And so when he tells me to go to mental hospital also, it is sweet. In fact, I'm tempted to go into the episode, but I'll contain myself because I have to go ahead with the topic. The second lesson that we learn from Draupadi's Vastra Haranam episode is, it is said that when she called out Hrudayasthayi Krishna was playing dice with Satyabhama. So as he was playing, he thought for a moment, it seems. And the legend goes that he was thinking, what has Draupadi done for me? And at that time he remembered that once when he was cutting sugarcane, with the knife he sliced his finger, and somebody ran to summon a surgeon, somebody ran to, Rukmini ran to get some bandage, somebody ran to get some ointment, different people ran. Draupadi simply tore her silk sari and made a bandage. Yes. And it's very symbolic. For 1 centimeter, 1 inch of silk sari, as we know, he returned with interest, infinite interest, a Guinness Book of World Record sari. Which means, Swami says, the Lord's grace is like an insurance. It will help you in the time of need beyond your imagination, beyond measure. Because his interest rates are exorbitantly high. Not exorbitantly, infinitely high. He can just say, okay, you have done this deposit, right? I will give you infinite interest on this. Now take. That's what he did to Draupadi. That's why for 1 inch of sari, silk sari, he gave her meters of silk sari. But you need to make some deposit, Because 0 into infinity is still 0 only. If you make no deposit, whatever rate of interest God gives us back, it will not help. Have to sow something. Then only we will be able to reap. Professor Anil Kumar was once narrating how Swami gave a beautiful example. He said, every year we do our tax planning. We don't want to simply pay taxes. So how do you avoid taxes? Otherwise you have to give money to the government. So how do you avoid taxes? You make a donation to charity. Right? Then okay, that much is exempt. Or you put in some insurance, medical insurance, health insurance. Then okay, further exempt. Like that, if you do enough like that, then fine, no need of tax. And this is not Professor Anil Kumar's example. He said that Swami told it to him. Swami said in the same way, you come with your karmic taxes that you have to pay. It is through these good deeds that you insure yourself. Through sadhana, bhajan, dhyana, seva, different things. Maybe seva is taken as a donation, so that much tax rebate you get. No, these are the ways that we make our deposits for that infinite insurance. That is the second lesson that we can learn from this episode. That we need to do something for the Lord in our own little manner, in our own way, in the way we can. Through our thoughts, through our words and through our deeds. And finally, here's the most beautiful lesson, but before coming to that, I just want to burst one myth. This myth of sacrificing for the Lord. Often, we say, this is what, but I'm going to give this up for the Lord. We give up different things for the Lord. We sacrifice for the Lord. I remember when I completed my education, my heart desperately wanted to be here at Swami's lotus feet. But my mind, it had great ambitions. It still has. And I remember one night sitting and praying to my indweller of the heart. I told Swami, I didn't write a letter. Nothing. I just sat and heart to heart with him. I said, Swami, Swami, I have great ambitions. I want to rise and shine in the world. I want to be famous. I want money, Swami. I want to have lots of money. I want to get married, Swami, to a very good girl. A girl who loves you a lot. I want to get married. And Swami, I want to see the world. I want to go everywhere. I want to enjoy all this. But Swami, more than all this, I love you, Swami. So, for your sake, I'm going to give up all this. I just felt, that's it, Swami. What? Because I know once I stay here, it's going to be a very, very austere life. That's what I thought at that time. So I said, I'll have to give up all this. So, Swami, I'll give up. Because, Swami, because you are more important than all this. And I felt that I had sacrificed for the Lord. In fact, in one of those early times when I had to give a speech, somebody said that Arvind is a gold medalist, he sacrificed a brilliant academic career, he could have got this in the outside world and all for Swami's sake. I felt so proud. I said, yes, that is it. I used to feel that no use of being a Dumbo and staying with Swami. What people will say, he is good, he is no good in the world, that's why he is staying at the Lord's feet. No. You should be a star, you should be awesome, you should be phenomenal. People should say, you go out, you can earn this much, you go out, you can rock the world. Why are you staying here? Then, I used to feel, if you do like that, then Swami will get respect. Because, this guy can do so much outside, but he is not doing. Why? Because I am getting something from Swami which the world can't give. Then you can say like that. These were all my foolish thoughts. Recently, I had been to Dubai, and when I was at the Dubai airport, My wife was by my side, and I was possibly on the most luxurious place in the planet. And then it hit me. From inside I heard a feeble voice asking, "What have you sacrificed for Swami?" I had my wallet in the pocket, which was loaded with cash. I had my wife by my side. I was in Dubai. I had traveled to 3 countries before that. And I got a tear and I said, I'm thinking that I have sacrificed everything for Swami's sake. I have not sacrificed anything at all. Because the Lord doesn't take anything from us. Swami himself says, the Lord's hand always gives. Doesn't take. When we give to the Lord, it is embellished, decorated and given back to us in a way we can't even imagine. That is what I realized. In Dubai too, I had to give a talk. And there, I don't know, it is coincidence or it's very interesting. That's how Swami makes, that's how the divine drama goes. Somebody just said, "Wow, how much? Really amazing, brother, how much you have sacrificed for Swami." I said, "No, don't tell I sacrificed. I have not sacrificed anything. I've just been selfishly getting everything that I want. Only because I had one good thought that I should hold on to Swami. That's all. I have no other qualifications worth in my life other than saying that possibly because of my mother's prayers and her efforts and my whatever, I had just this one good thing that I said, Swami, I want you and you alone. That's it. Everything has been conferred. I really don't feel anything else I deserved. But that is how the Lord's grace is. So, it is only recently that I understood the meaning of a quote by Dalai Lama. He said, "Be selfish, therefore be selfless." I thought this is some crazy, some kind of crazy Zen stuff. I find it very crazy. I don't understand something it is. I said, what is the Dalai Lama saying? That be selfish, therefore be selfless. Today I realize that if we can define selfishness as wanting the best for oneself, then the best possible way to achieve it is by being selfless. Because when we seek Narayana, Lakshmi comes free. Sathya Sai Padambujam. Ambuja means actually goddess Lakshmi. Ambuja means one who has taken birth from the Kamala, the lotus. And that is Lakshmi. And we achieve the wealth by seeking the Lord's feet. Because, Swami says you go behind Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. But Lakshmi is a pativrata. Pativrata is one who is in union with her husband, who is one with her husband. You can't separate Lakshmi from Narayana. So Lakshmi will never let go of the feet of Narayana. Swami says, instead, seek Narayana, seek the Lord. If Narayana comes to you, Lakshmi will automatically follow because she has to be at his feet. It is a buy one, get one free offer, which you are not making use of. Seek the Lord. But when we seek the Lord, let us not seek it keeping one eye on Lakshmi like that. Let us seek the Lord for the Lord's sake. Everything will be conferred on us. And when I say everything, I mean even the ultimate. Because this, I feel, is the most subtle, yet most beautiful aspect of this Vastra Haranam episode, of the disrobing of Draupadi. Just Google for this image, okay? The disrobing of Draupadi in the Kaurava court. Or look at any videos on YouTube which exists. Look closely and you will see that finally when Dushasana is pulling the sari, Draupadi is not holding on to the sari. Till then Draupadi is holding on to the sari, she doesn't want to be disrobed. This is something all of us have seen but not noticed. But actually when Dushasana is finally pulling, you see Draupadi is standing like this. Why? Yes, of course, one way of looking at it is that she has surrendered to the Lord, yes. But when you seek out to the Hrudayasthayi Sai, he gives the greatest gift, the ultimate gift of Atmabhimana. He takes you beyond Dehabhimana. He takes you beyond body consciousness. And that's why, she is called out to Krishna to save her honor. And when her honor is actually getting saved, she's putting no efforts at all to save her honor. Because what is meant by my honor, what is meant by my body, what is meant by me, it's all one. In that single moment of intense pain and humiliation, Draupadi was given the ultimate experience of going beyond body consciousness. That is what will happen when we seek out to our Hrudayasthayi Sai. And when we seek, it is not compulsory that we seek him only for the ultimate experience. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Artha Artharthi Jignasu Jnani. And that's how Swami, that's why he has built hospital, he has built school. You come to me for education, come to me for hospital, come with any excuse, no problem. I will take you and mold you, and if you connect with me, I will give you the ultimate experience via whatever desires you have come to me for. Draupadi called out to Krishna to save the honor of her physical body. And Surdas called out to Krishna to lift him physically from a well. Whatever be the reason why we call out to the Lord, let us call out to the Lord who is resident of our hearts. He knows what we need, and He will definitely confer on us what we need at the perfect timing. Just like that Sathya Sai Padambujam bhajan, the perfect timing, the Lord's timing is perfect. You can't get it more perfect than that. Of all the possible billion moments, He picks the perfect moment. Of all the billion possible things that could happen to me, He picks the best possible thing that can happen to me every moment of my life. Because, I say I have faith. What is meant by I have faith? I believe that my Swami is the most loving. Yes. I believe that my Swami is the most powerful. Yes. It is not as if something is happening to me because the Lord is not able to stop it. Because He is the most powerful. It is not as if that He is able to stop it, but He doesn't like me. So He says, let me mess around with this guy. So let it happen. No. He won't, because He loves me so much. So when He loves me, and when He is all powerful, if still something is happening to me, it is because it is good for me and He is allowing it to happen. I would like to conclude by just praying to Swami, who is the resident of each one of our hearts, who is the resident of my heart. Swami, in these little moments of inspiration, in these little circumstances, through different situations in life, you give us this example, you give us this experience of seeing you and feeling you in our hearts. Please, Swami, give us the wisdom and strength to hold on to that experience, so that every moment of our lives we can see you and feel you in our hearts, and we can experience bliss supreme. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.